Well, remember, several people arrested earlier this morning. We took you live there after a service delivery protest turned violent in the Durban CBD, and it's happening inside this ongoing wage strike by members of the South African Municipal Workers Union. Residents had taken to the streets over a lack of services as municipal workers continued to down tools.
We are very flabbergasted by what happened of a police to arrest people who were raising a genuine call. As I stated, that a state is responsible for class antagonism, is responsible for one class to be oppressed by another class. And the police, they represent the state at the organs of the state. So they were sent by the state to go and arrest our parents, because those are our parents who are staying at the Thokoza hostel, whom were demanding a genuine call to say we cannot stay and behave as if things are normal without electricity for the 2 weeks. So now they were demanding a genuine call. And we also told that a helicopter came, and after the helicopter came, the police, they went inside to arrest our parents. And that situation is very bad, and we are very dumbfounded.
And let's then check in with Karinda Jagmohan, who is still there at the Durban City Hall. Karinda, good morning. We're a few minutes away from the afternoon, but the situation where you are has developed. Many more people in the vicinity now. Just tell us what's happening there.
Indeed, good day to you. Well, as you can see around me, there are more municipal workers that have come to the steps of the Durban City Hall. But these are not workers that are affiliated to the strike ongoing by SAMU, the South African Municipal Workers Union. This is Matusa. It's another workers' union, but mostly made up of EPWP workers, which is essentially a program wherein residents have been employed under this program, but they're not employed on a permanent basis. And they say, we've just spoken to one of their members now, I'm just looking for him to get his voice for you live, but they say that at the last council meeting, they were told that there would be full-time employment for many of the workers around me, but they say that has not happened, and as a result, they've come to the steps of the Durban City Hall asking for answers about this, about these promises that they would be employed on a permanent basis as opposed to on a monthly basis where they can't now know that they have a job for the rest of the year or for a longer contract. So they need job security. That's their argument today. Very different, they say, from the SAMU strike, but they say that strike is something they support too. They say that workers must be paid in line to what other municipal workers are getting paid or are receiving, and that is, of course, the basis of the SAMU strike that is currently ongoing. Now, this, they describe it as a picket started just after the EFF left. The EFF KZN chairperson, Mongezi Twala, and a number of other executive members, including members from their labor desk, were essentially locked in a meeting with the eThekwini mayor, and they say, or the EFF says that they support the SAMU strike, but they don't support anything that is illegal. They say they're on the side of those that are desperate for fair employment, and they say that they will now go ahead to try and get volunteers to clean up the city as well. So that's an update from the EFF, but I'll play you that specific clip a bit later on in the day. Right now, the picket that is ongoing, really, it doesn't seem like anyone is going to come out to address the many workers that are here. And what is noticeable is that many of those who are picketing are women. These are women that are calling for fair employment and permanent employment as well. I just am looking for the Matusa representative that is speaking on the record, so let's actually join that interview now. This is a representative of those who are picketing currently. Let's take a listen to his voice.
So I see one of the members we call a full council meeting. He has advised to Municipal email. Sayibhala lawo email ukuthi sicela ukuthi office lika mayor listening as a sitting sizoxoxa employment yama EPWP. So khumbula thina njengamatosa lomkhandlu waseThekwini sine certificate iaward esayifumana eCCMA esithi laba bantu mabaqashwe permanent. balapha for 10 years, 20 years, abanye baze retire, bengama EPWP, which is very painful. Sibhalile ke lo email ngomhla ka-29 until today ayikaziphendula. So silapha sizojonga impendulo yalo email, silapha sizoconsider umeya makasinikeze. Sifuna ukuhlala naye phansi asixelele laba basebenzi kuze kubenini bebaxhaphaza.
You're currently live on Newzroom Afrika. I know we just spoke, but you were explaining how long people have been without permanent jobs. Just again, recap this for me, please, sir.
Those people that have been here from plus or minus 5 years, 10 years to 20 years. They are here. One, you need to understand, they don't get any benefits. They are EPWP workers. However, what is painful, they are working or performing the same duties we are performing as a permanent duties.
So I understand this is not part of the SAMU strike, but are the EPWP workers going to work, or are they threatened from going to work?
They are threatened to go to work. That is why they are not even working, because when they go to work, they are threatening some of them. They are being like insulted by employees. So for them, for the safety reason, they need to reserve like that.
And now you are looking for answers about that permanent employment. Has there been any arrangements? Do you think someone's going to address you today?
We hope that. By the way, it's not like we hope. There must be an arrangement, because we are not coming for something which is foreign. We are coming for something which was addressed and said by the mayor of this council, that the EPWP must be permanently employed. She was saying this thing in the council meeting on the year of 2022. Now, the reason why we are here, it is from last week. We went to council meeting last week, and we were advised by one of the council member that we must write an email, and we did that. Unfortunately, there was no response.
So just lastly, what do you think is going to happen to Durban if the municipality is unable to reach an agreement with the workers in all the various strikes?
Already, if you can look at the communities, you look at the society way, the disturbance, and obviously, things are not going well at all. Even the taxpayers, the ratepayers, they are, if you look at the societies, they are highly striking from the communities, because there is no stability. You see, because of this outcome, the employer keeps on ignoring the employee's demand. Employer decided not even to attend. There is a video that is trending of a mayor not even giving a sympathy of what our leadership of the other union was saying. Instead, he was so arrogant. So you ask yourself, what kind of employer is this who don't even having a sympathy to attend his employees?
So thank you so much for your time, and we're going to catch up with you in a moment.
Thank you so much.
A representative from Matusa, which is representing the EPWP workers, as you can see here, and what he says is that there needs to be a level of communication between the management of the municipality and the municipal workers that are hired to find a common ground with regards to fair employment, because this is currently, they say they need to be permanently employed. SAMU workers say that they need to be paid far more. They need to be paid in line with what their counterparts in other municipalities are paying. And right now, SAMU workers have down tools. The EPWP workers you see in front of you say they are too scared to go to work because they are threatened. And then as it is, the state of Durban is one where waste is scattered across the city. There's no electricity in some areas. There's no water in other areas or water tankers. So certainly the residents and citizens are really struggling, while the ongoing negotiations are taking quite some time, more than 2 weeks, to reach finality and bring some sort of stability to Durban.
Karinda, it's quite striking to see how things have evolved since the morning, from that protest in the Durban CBD and to the deployment of those police officers, the deployment of water cannon and rubber bullets there, and the arrest to here just further up a couple of streets down from Grey Street, where you were earlier on, to the footsteps of the City Hall, where a number of these EPWP workers have converged together with other protesters. That the situation in Durban, again, it is at any given moment high risk, it would seem, because so many people have so many long-standing grievances with the city that do not seem to have been or are being resolved as quickly and as efficiently as they need to be. The interesting thing about the EPWP program, though, is it's government's program to train and upskill people, but there's no promises of jobs. So it was interesting what the Matusa representative was saying, that they've written an email. They are not fighting with the city, but what they want the city to do is to honor the agreements that they are beholden to honor. And this is in respect of a CCMA certificate, which says that these individuals should be deployed and employed permanently. It's also, again, quite tragic to see, as he was saying, people who've been in employment, and you see a number of women there predominantly, been in employment for a decade, 2 decades as EPWP workers, but still do not have permanent employment and don't have the benefits of permanent employment. Does it seem, Karinda, as if anyone's coming out to address the group that is standing where you are?
Not at all at this point. The doors have been closed. Police have interacted with some of the leaders, the Matusa leaders here, saying that, well, this picket was not something that was planned, but there's no movement in terms of police force right now. They're just observing on the sidelines, but the doors are closed. There's nobody coming out at this point, even though Matusa says there should be someone. When various media representatives, when various producers from Newzroom Afrika reached out to the eThekwini municipality, we were met with a media briefing that will take place tomorrow, saying that there will be no interviews until that media briefing tomorrow. Then will the mayor be available to be answerable to what is happening right now. So that will take place tomorrow morning. But it doesn't seem like anyone is coming out. We'll wait with the Matusa workers to see what will happen. For about just over an hour, the EFF young students were waiting here. When they were addressed by their chairperson, the EFF KZN chairperson, they were told what happened in that meeting and they dispersed, and then this picket began. But even then, no municipal worker came out to speak to them. We did see municipal officials, not necessarily executives, but employees going into the building. The doors have been closed now for quite some time, so I don't think that the EPWP workers, the women here, will hear anything, hear any feedback today. But those questions will certainly be raised tomorrow, because you are right when you say that this was supposed to be an employment program, and now they're fighting for security, for job security with regards to employment, and they need that urgently when you look at the state of the economy. Right now, there have been now 2 pickets today at the steps of the Durban City Hall. No sign of any municipal officials, and the city, like I mentioned before, is really in a state of degradation.
Karinda Jagmohan and our team in KZN, thank you very much for keeping us so well informed and updated on those developments, and for having the agility to move between those separate locations. Karinda telling us how the situation has evolved with a few sites of protest and disruption in the city of eThekwini, and Nobushle as well, our reporter, just giving us a sense of what's happening from an administrative point of view and what the city is planning to do to bring this strike to an end and to restore some order in the city of eThekwini.